Did you know that the universe makes sense? I'm going to tell you a little bit about phi, the golden ratio. It's also known as the divine proportion, the golden division, the Fibonacci spiral, the natural spiral, or simply phi. The divine proportion is based on a mathematical pattern called the Fibonacci sequence. It's a pattern where the next number is found by adding the last two numbers together. The sequence is essentially a code for existence. I'll start showing you this with a musical example. There are 8 notes in a major scale. Do 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 do. 8. There are 13 notes in a chromatic scale. Do 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 do. There are 5 black keys. Do 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 do. They're used a lot in Oriental music, and they're in sets of 2 and 3. And a major chord, which all other chords are based on, is a first, a third, a fifth, and an eighth. Do 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 do. That's a perfect chord. You take all these numbers, and they are all golden ratio numbers. They're all part of the Fibonacci sequence. But how does the Fibonacci sequence relate to phi? Well, phi is a ratio. It's an irrational number. Remember back to middle school geometry that pi is the irrational number you get with the diameter and circumference of a circle. Well, phi is the irrational number you get from the Fibonacci sequence. You take a number from the sequence and divide it by the number before it. So 37 divided by 23 is about 1.618. The higher the numbers, the more accurate you get, but 1.618 is good enough for most. 1 to 1.618 is the golden proportion, or phi. Here's what it pulls up on Google if you type in the golden ratio. And here's the ratio visually, so A to B is 1.6 to 1. Let's go back to music and look at the ratio of phi. It's all over in the design of musical instruments. Here's a screenshot of Michael Jackson's Thriller, and it just happens to be when he turns into a zombie, which just happens to be at the golden ratio of the timer. It's about 62% into the length of the song. In many songs, just around or right on either the 38% or the 62% point of the total length of the song, an obvious shift often occurs, whether it's a musical interlude, tempo shift, or the like. So let's get a better sense of how the golden section can be arranged from the Fibonacci sequence. Let's start with a 1 by 1 square, and then follow the sequence on. 1 by 1, 2 by 2, 3 by 3, 5 by 5, 8 by 8, and so on and so on. If you take a drawing compass into each one of those squares, it makes this thing called the natural spiral. When I paint, these places are a good place to put emphasis. Artists and architects have known this for centuries. The Greeks especially loved phi, and the Parthenon follows its pattern down to tiny details. Cinematographers caught on to this. Next time you're watching a movie, watch for how they set up the camera angles. Phi is just really pleasing to our eye for some reason. It's really awkward to have something in the dead center of the camera. Use of the golden ratio makes for some really artistic and iconic shots. You see phi on a daily basis and you don't even know it. Graphic designers definitely know about it because you see it everywhere in product design and graphic design. The golden ratio may be so appealing to our eye because it's nature's standard. It's seen in how weather forms and even how galaxies form. Flower petals grow in Fibonacci numbers, so do tree branches. If you follow the lines in pine cones and pineapples, and the seed heads of plants, they fit the golden spiral. The distance between leaves as they grow conforms to phi, so all the leaves get enough sunlight. It's seen in how animals grow, like the curl of an elephant's trunk, or a seahorse's tail, or the horns of a ram. And the cute koala has the golden ratio on its face, and the dolphin, and the fish, and the tiger, and the ugly bug. The golden ratio is especially seen in the human body. Our belly button bisects us at the golden ratio, and our shoulders is the golden ratio of our arm span. Our knee is the golden ratio of our leg, our elbow is the golden ratio of our arm, our wrist is the golden ratio of our forearm, and each one of our phalanges are golden ratios of each other. That's why when you curl up your hand like this, it makes a natural spiral. Also, think about this. You have 2 hands, each with 5 digits. You have 8 fingers technically and 2 thumbs. Your fingers have 3 digits and your thumbs have 2 digits. And those are all Fibonacci numbers. So maybe this is a lot of forced association, but on those days that your life just doesn't make sense, you can think, no, it's okay, the universe makes sense, because there's the golden division.